Last summer, I nearly gave up on gardening. Imagine waking up to find your tomatoes, your pride, chewed up and ruined overnight. I tried all the sprays from the store. Some burned the leaves, others barely worked. It was frustrating, exhausting, and honestly, I felt defeated. But just when I was ready to quit, I stumbled on one simple homemade spray, and everything changed. My garden came back to life. If you're facing the same struggle, don't give up. Stay with me. I'll show you the exact recipe I used, step by step. It wasn't just one pest. It was an invasion. Every morning, I'd walk out and see new damage. Tiny green bugs hiding under my tomato leaves. Almost invisible unless you knew where to look. White flies would scatter like dust clouds the moment I brushed a plant. And my poor lettuce? Riddled with holes like someone had taken a hole punch to every leaf. I felt helpless, and honestly, a little embarrassed. How could something so small cause so much destruction? But here's what I learned. Knowing your enemy is the first step to defeating it. Once I stopped treating every bug the same and started identifying exactly what I was dealing with, everything shifted. I began noticing patterns, what time they appeared, what plants they preferred, and even where they laid their eggs. That knowledge helped me take back control of my garden, one leaf at a time. What pests give you the most trouble? Aphids? Caterpillars? Something worse? Drop their names in the comments. Let's build a community list. You're not alone in this. And someone out there might have the exact tip you need to win your garden back. I'll never forget the day I met Ruth. She was 89 years old, wore a straw hat almost bigger than her head, and had a garden that looked like something out of a dream, full of life, color, and not a single chewed-up leaf in sight. I asked her what her secret was. She smiled and said, "It's all in the spray, honey." I thought she was joking, but then she handed me a small bottle and walked me through the recipe. She'd been using it for decades, passed down from her mother. No fancy chemicals, no expensive store-bought brands, just simple ingredients, things you probably already have at home. That day, I tried it for the first time. I didn't expect much, but by the next morning, something incredible happened. Fewer bugs, healthier leaves, and for the first time in weeks, no new damage. I kept spraying and never looked back. Here's Ruth's secret homemade spray recipe. 1 liter of water, 1 tablespoon of dish soap. Make sure it's chemical-free or use Castile soap. 1 tablespoon of neem oil. If you can't find neem oil, vegetable oil works too. Optional but powerful, add garlic, juice, or a pinch of chili flakes for extra strength. Directions: mix all the ingredients in a spray bottle. Shake well every time before use. Spray the solution under the leaves. That's where most pests hide. Do it early in the morning before the sun gets too hot. This way, the plants absorb the treatment, and there's no risk of sunburn from the oil. Pro tips from Ruth and me. Always test the spray on just 1 leaf. First, to make sure your plant doesn't react badly. Never spray during the hottest part of the day. Oils can burn the leaves when mixed with sunlight. Be consistent. Spray twice a week until the pests are completely gone. This spray doesn't just fight bugs. It builds your confidence. It reminds you that you don't need a huge budget or fancy tools to protect your garden. You just need the right knowledge. Shared by someone who's been there. Ruth's wisdom saved my garden. And now, I'm passing it on to you. If it works for you, share it with someone else. Let's keep the tradition going, gardener to gardener. Have you ever used a homemade garden spray? What worked or didn't? Drop your story in the comments. Someone might just need your advice today. What happened after just 1 week? I didn't expect a miracle. Honestly, after so many disappointments, I was just hoping to slow the damage. But what happened after just 1 week felt like magic. And yet, it was all real. By day 3, I noticed something strange. There were no more clouds of whiteflies when I brushed past my plants. At first, I thought maybe I was imagining it. But no, I checked under the leaves, and the tiny invaders were gone. It was the first time I'd seen clean, calm leaves in weeks. By day 5, the sticky residue, that awful honeydew pests leave behind, had started to disappear. My plants looked less stressed. Their leaves weren't curling anymore, and I could almost see them breathing again. By day 7, I ran my fingers across a lettuce leaf and smiled. Not a single new hole. None. The damage had stopped. New growth was pushing through, green and untouched. For the first time in a long while, I felt hopeful. But it wasn't just about saving my garden. It was about saving me. Every gardener knows this. Your garden reflects your heart. And when pests attack your plants, It feels like they're attacking your peace, your patience, sometimes even your purpose. I didn't just save my tomatoes, or my lettuce, or my peppers. There's something deeply healing about watching something come back to life. And when you're the one who brought it back, that's a power no one can take from you. All it took was a simple homemade spray shared by someone wise, and a little bit of trust. If you're where I was, tired, frustrated, ready to give up, just give it one more week. Try the spray. Watch what happens. Take photos. Track the changes. You might be surprised at how fast nature can recover once you give it the right help. And remember, the goal isn't perfection. It's progress, one leaf at a time. Have you ever turned your garden around? Big or small? Share your wins in the comments. And if you try the spray, come back in a week and tell us what changed. You never know who your story might inspire. Tips to keep pests from coming back. Here's something I wish I knew sooner. Pest control isn't just about spraying. It's about prevention. Yes, that homemade spray changed everything for me. But what truly kept my garden safe in the long run was learning how to make it harder for pests to come back in the first place. It's not about fighting a war every season. It's about building a strong defense before the battle even begins. Think of it like this. If your garden is healthy, balanced, and cared for regularly, pests have a harder time taking hold. Prevention is gentler, smarter, and it saves you so much time and energy. Here are a few simple, powerful tips I now follow religiously, and they've made a world of difference. 1. Plant marigolds or basil near your veggies. These aren't just pretty or fragrant, they're natural pest repellents. Marigolds deter nematodes and aphids. Basil keeps mosquitoes and whiteflies away. It's like planting tiny bodyguards next to your crops. 2. Remove dead leaves every week. Dead or decaying leaves attract pests like magnets. I make it a habit to walk through my garden once a week with a small bucket and just clean up. It's calming and effective. 3. Use fine mesh netting on seedlings. When your plants are young, they're most vulnerable. A light mesh or garden cloth keeps flying pests out without blocking sunlight or airflow. I used to lose half my seedlings, not anymore. 4. Don't overwater. Pests love soggy soil. This one was a big one for me. I thought more water meant more growth. But overwatering leads to fungus gnats, root rot, and stressed plants, which invites even more pests. Keep the soil moist, not wet. Let the top dry a little between waterings. These aren't complicated changes, but when you do them consistently, they build a stronger, more resilient garden. One that can fight back naturally. One that doesn't depend on constant spraying or chemical treatments. One that feels alive and in balance. And here's the truth. Gardening is never perfect. There will always be challenges. But each year, you get a little wiser. You learn your space, your climate, your plants. And slowly, you become the kind of gardener who doesn't just grow things, you protect them. What's your favorite tip for keeping pests away, naturally or otherwise? Do you use companion planting, diatomaceous earth, certain herbs? Let's swap wisdom in the comments. The best gardening secrets come from other gardeners, not the back of a bottle. Gardening isn't just about food. It's not just about tomatoes or lettuce or peppers. It's about hope. It's about not giving up. It's about waking up each day and choosing to care, to try, to nurture, even when the odds feel stacked against you. This spray? Yes, it saved my garden. But it gave me back something even more precious. It reminded me that I still have power, even in my 70s. Even with a bad back, a slower pace, and hands that ache after a long day in the soil, I still have the power to create life, to protect it, to fight for it, in my own quiet, steady way. And that's what I want you to remember. If your garden is under attack, if the pests are winning, if you're tired, frustrated, and ready to pull everything up and walk away, don't quit. Fight back. Not with harsh chemicals or expensive solutions, but with wisdom, with care, with the kind of knowledge passed down through generations, gardener to gardener. Use the spray. Try the tips. Watch what happens. Because every seed you plant is a little act of faith, and every pest you beat back is a reminder that you still matter. Your effort, your time, your love, it all matters. So go out there, dust off your gloves, pick up your watering can, and fight for your garden. The old-fashioned way. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to The Evergreen Seniors, where we share weekly wisdom for those who never stop growing. Your support helps us reach more gardeners just like you. And if you decide to try the homemade spray, come back and let us know how it worked in your garden. Your story might be the encouragement someone else needs. Remember, every comment, like, and share helps keep this growing community strong. Let's keep learning and growing together.